This woman has changed my entire perspective of relationships. And relationships are the most important thing in our life. Okay, what are we without relationships? Without our connections with people? This book is just so important. Go and read it. I actually came across this book that I actually re-listened to at least 2 more times. And this book has helped me change my life. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and if you are new here, my name is Bao, and on this channel, we talk about wholehearted living and relationships, that sort of thing. Yeah, let's get into this video. So in 2019, I got really into reading audiobooks while driving, which I feel is like the best habit I've ever gotten into. And you are just absorbing so much info while you are driving, you know. So what is this book? This book is none other than Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. So as you can see, I don't have the book here because actually I didn't get a physical copy. I have it in my Kindle. And I also listened to the audiobook that was actually read by Brené herself. So who is Brené Brown? She is a shame researcher, and she has been doing research for many years. And in 2019, actually, I was having a lot of problems with my relationships. Not that they are perfect now, but I would say they are so much better now than before because of how I have decided that, we can't run away from it, and we will need to embrace it sooner or later. So let's go into what are my main takeaways from this book. The first takeaway that I have is that we all armor up. So what is armoring up? Armoring up is lashing out instead of saying that you feel a certain way, that like you are hurt by someone's words. Instead of facing it and letting the person know that the person has hurt your feelings, you instead act out. For me, what I always do is I will become very angry. I will when I'm hurt or like if I'm sad, how I will deal with it is usually I will lash out at the person, I will shout at the person, and I will be very angry. This book has taught me to actually understand what I'm feeling. So last time I only had 3 emotions, okay? So one was happiness. The second one was anger. And the third was maybe like hungry or hangry or something. I seldom even show like some form of sadness or like hurt. There's like a whole list of emotions that we can feel rather than just anger or I don't know what other things that I'm not Brené. I think she actually has a downloadable PDF for like all the different kinds of emotions. You know, if you're up for that, if you don't know what you're feeling, maybe like print that out and take. Maybe it's this jealousy or something. So for me, I really struggled with knowing exactly what I was feeling. It's like last time I remember that I had this friend that I was so angry at because we were at Bangkok and he made me go up the tuk-tuk first. And then I heard so many horror stories of tuk-tuk, like people getting kidnapped by a tuk-tuk in Bangkok or like Thailand, somewhere in Thailand. And like it was my first time in Bangkok. I was so afraid of going up first. Like my mom kept telling me, no, let the guys go up first. And then my friend just kept pushing me to go up. So it ended up like I was the first one to go on the tuk-tuk. I mean, obviously nothing happened to me, but I was so pissed. I couldn't even say what I was feeling. I told him, Sean, you're f***ing ugly, Like what the It is now a hilarious story, but previously it was all that I could manage. Like I couldn't say that, I was scared, like sort of thing. It took like maybe 2-3 years to finally process that whole incident. So what I was feeling is everything. It's like fear, and also like I feel a little bit shame for feeling this way. Like is it stupid that I think that I could be kidnapped in somewhere that is so tourist friendly, So it's a mixture of all of this. So that was armoring up, and it's a super personal example. I think any of my friends, if they say this, they'll be like, yeah, it's just something that we still bring up but it took me a few years to actually process why I was feeling that way, you know. My emotional intelligence, I think maybe it's that of like a 3-year-old-ish, but since then, I think I've evolved to about like 3.5. So the next takeaway from this book is the power of me too, or I understand how you feel. Basically, it is a form of empathy. It is a kind of letting another person know that you have felt this way before, so the person knows that he or she is not alone, or that you have experienced this before. When I was listening to this part of the book, all I could think about was, what about story trumping? You know, I'm afraid that if I tell the person that, I have felt this way before, the same way, and let me tell you the story of like last time, a similar thing happened to me, blah blah blah, but I've ran through this so many times. I think this is definitely not the way to go. But having empathy is not about story trumping. So what I think, or after processing this for a period of time, is that when someone is suffering, you can just say, I understand how you're feeling, or I really feel what you're feeling, or my heart is breaking with you. There are some examples given by Brene inside her book. Her stories have hit me hard, okay? I don't want to go into the details of the story that she gave, like an example, but basically it is someone being there for her in a difficult time, and not in a similar thing like this happened to me before, and then here is what happened. The third takeaway will be that quote that Daring Greatly came from. It is actually from a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. It is called "It is not the critic who counts." So you can look it up online, but let me share with you just a very short part of it. So it starts with, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marked by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. For a very long period of time while I was still working full time, it was actually like the quote that I pinned it up. It's a very long quote, and I just pinned it up there, and every day when I suffer, you know, because I'm sure a lot of us suffer in our full-time jobs, not just me, and then I'll look at it every day. It is my everyday quote. It is the quote that really like resonates with me, because it is true. I mean, who else can be in the arena other than you, right? It is your own battle, it is your own fight, and whoever is at the side pointing and judging you or giving us some kind of like, you know, stupid advice, they are not even in it. So I feel we are so affected by how other people think of us that we can't even properly live our battles or like our own lives. I'm just a person who really, even though like I act like I'm not, but there are times when I get really affected by how other people see me. This quote, it really like just reminds me that, you know what, just, you know, you just have to keep taking a step forward. If it resonates with you, if it doesn't, then, you know, fine. It's just such a great quote to see every day, because, you know, I had my own circumstances, like as everyone would have. These are my takeaways, and if you are interested in checking out this book, definitely buy it. And I actually bought only the Kindle version. I did not buy the audio version. I borrowed it from the library, and I keep borrowing it again and again. It is just that, you know, humans, we forget a lot of things, and sometimes I really need a refresher. This woman has changed my entire perspective of relationships, and relationships are the most important thing in our life. Okay, what are we without relationships, without our connections with people? This book is just so important. go and read it. It took a while for me to process, but I think like I'm 80% complete in the processing process. Yes, so this is it. So definitely check out the book and let me know what you think. If you have read the book, please tell me what are your greatest takeaways, and I would really love to know what other people think of this book. So I will see you in the next video, and remember to like and subscribe, and also please let me know what you think. I will link all my resources that I can think of down in the description box. So don't worry, okay? Okay, bye. Especially for people who are like emotionally constipated like me, I really needed this book. I can't even like emphasize enough. Okay, no. Oh, okay. So you don't want to stay here? Oh, I think it's gonna lie here.